Good morning, and welcome to Sunday Soul Talks, where Lori, I, only talk about what I've experienced. Sometimes something comes through that's beyond me, beyond, it just comes out. Basically, what I talk about, the Lori character talks about, is separation from what we really are. The me that believes, it's what we believe ourselves to be, and which is called the ego. A bunch of thoughts, identities that we've picked up soon after infancy. and we don't even know it. We don't even know it. I just started, when I say I, take I loosely, because when we say I, we're identifying with this body and mind, which is nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying it's not who we are. Whatever beats our heart, whatever makes the wind go, whatever moves the sun or the earth around the sun, and the moon and the waves and the ocean. Oh my God, yesterday. Peter and I, went to Inglewood. It was a car show and a fly-in. There were helicopters, airplanes, and cars. Beautiful cars. Oh my gosh, the cars were different cars than we see around here. It was awesome. So many great cars. Wow. Good morning, Margie. Thanks for being here. Good Sunday morning to you. So at this, I was talking to Taylor on the way. Oh, no. When I woke up, I somehow, we got into a Snapchat about something. Oh, we asked what we were doing today. What are you doing? Going to the beach? Like that's... Anyway, I said, no, we're going to a car show and a fly-in. And I said, there's going to be helicopters, and your father he's all about the helicopters. Always has been. Ever since we were teenagers, he's been about the helicopters. And, yeah, he wishes he had gone in the service and learned how to fly helicopters. That's a regret that he carries. Anyway, and regrets, that also cements the me. I should have done something different. It's not possible. It is not. What is on my glasses? Oh, no. It's not possible to do anything different. Everything is exactly the way it's meant to be. It's only that little me that thinks that it would have been better if You don't have any idea what's better. Only that mind, where that little me lives, that belief in who I am, is always looking to another, and they've got it better. If I'd have done, I'd be better like them. What? There's nobody better. There's nobody better than you. No one. Imagine. Because our minds are programmed to look at the others, and we come out either less than or better than. That is all the Maya. It's called Maya. That's what the Mayan people use. It's called Maya. It's muddled up. It's constant thoughts and that we were conditioned to think. because a baby is not comparing. My grandson does not compare to another 2-year-old and think that I'm less than Weston because I don't have blah blah whatever he has. And then the keeping up with the Joneses, all of that, all of that. What you have does not define you, because I know people who are well off. They have so much and they're miserable. Big time. Anyway, so we did go on the helicopter, but we got in line, and it come to find, I'm like, oh, because we don't have any cash. We don't carry cash. We actually found out that I told Taylor, we've been on many helicopters before. At the Freiburg Fair, it's only $35 a person. So if it's that, we'll do it. Guess what? It was that. $35 a person. So we're like, hell. And I was, they only took Zelle, which I don't have on my phone. That's one of the, I have Apple Pay and, Venmo. And there was hardly any service there at all. So we walked around, did the car show first. There was nobody in line at the helicopter. We could have had that. No, we could have had that done. See, it's automatic. We could have had that done. It wasn't the way it was. Accepting what is powerful. Anyway, we went and looked. We were looking at all the cars, and it took a good chunk of time. And the whole time I was checking my internet and seeing if it was, I could not download the Zelle app. There was not enough service to download it. And when I realized that which way they were going with this helicopter each time, going over the Gulf, being able to see that turquoise water from the air, I was like, hell yeah, I want to do this. This is different than the Freiburg Fair. Even the Freiburg Fair is beautiful because you see all the colors from up there. It's beautiful. But seeing the Gulf from up there, oh my God. So there was a renewed, I was waffling. Lori was waffling through the, do I want to do it? Do I need to do it? All of this. Maya. And when I found out when I realized they were going towards the Gulf, I'm like, oh my gosh, I really want to do this. So we went back, and I asked the guy, I went to the front of the line, and I said, do you guys, can you take Venmo? Is it possible? I can't download. And a young couple with their 2 kids were getting ready to get on. And the lady says to her husband, do you have enough money for that? She goes, how much do you need? I said, well, I want to give him a good tip. So I'd like to do $85, $90 would be awesome. And I'm seeing him rifling through his money in his wallet. And I go, Lori's conditioning was, oh my gosh, I don't want to take all of your money. And immediately, in unison, they both said, there's always more. I went, okay, I need to adopt that philosophy. There's always more. Because I was realizing during the day how much lack comes up attached to the me. Because it's never enough, so there's never enough of anything. Never enough money, never enough shoes, never enough clothes, never enough whatever you're addicted to, never enough food. Anyway, so my mind went off on a side tangent. I realized that's when the side tangents happen. There goes the train of thought. Anyway, so when they said there's always more, I said it so many times yesterday to Peter when we were deciding if we should do something or not, something we really wanted to do. We went to this restaurant on Boca Grande on the way home that was phenomenal. Right on the water. Literally. You walk out onto the beach and the water, the turquoise, it felt like being somewhere in the Caribbean. It's it was such a gorgeous day, but there was a breeze, so it wasn't, you weren't sweating. It was just perfection. It was just, I think it was 84. Perfect summer day in Maine, right, Marty? Anyway, breeze, it just was, so, these people gave us the cash. I had no idea who they were. They literally gave us the cash, so we were able to go on it. But the line at this point was pretty long. And then when they had to fill up, it took a good half hour for them to fill up the tank from this truck. So I went up to the front of the thing, and I was like, we're not going to stand here. Even I've seen the Gulf from the airplane. It's not the same, but, I mean, it's the same. Anyway, we weren't going to stand there if they were going to run out of fuel and not get to us. Because the car show ended in a half an hour. So I went up to him and I said, are you guys staying beyond? He says, we are going to stay. That's what they were talking about after they refueled. They were going to stay as long as everybody who was in the line was going to get on. So we did, and there were more people that came behind us. We weren't at the end of the line. Close, very close, but. So I have a video from the beginning to the end. Oh my gosh. It was so worth it. Just seeing the people, the kids were whining and complaining about, they really didn't know what it was like to be out. Good morning, Alicia. They didn't know what it was. They didn't know going on a helicopter. We're talking three-year-olds, and one was a 1-year-old. And the people that gave us the money. And anyway, I Venmo'd them. So because he had Venmo, they didn't give us the money freely. That would have been amazing. Shoot, I thought, oh, Marge, you must have been like, wow. No, they had Venmo, so I was able to Venmo them the money. It was perfect. Oh, my God. So, the kids, as they came off, every single person, when they came back from the ride, they were just so full of joy, and that's what I said to the guy as I was sitting there. You have your headphones on, and I said, because he was so over it by then, and we weren't at the end of the line. He was just so done, you could tell. And I said, but the joy that you're bringing to people, there's no price for that, right? He completely agreed. He loved, that's why he does it, not for the money, for the joy that people get to experience a helicopter ride over the Gulf. Oh my God. Anyway, so, and I talked to Alicia, a lot of the morning we were talking about the ESE kids, the kids that I had to say goodbye to at the school that I was at for 2 weeks. I said, you guys, this is my last day, and they're like, oh, no, what? They just were, all of them in unison in that cafeteria were like, they were devastated. I said, gosh, you sure know how to make a woman feel good. You know what, Margie? I have come to realize there are more nice people in the world. Everybody loves to help someone out. Don't you feel good when you help someone? It's a great feeling, just like the helicopter guy. Having someone experience something that normally you don't get to experience, the average population. So, and if you listen to the news all the time, you're going to think people are out to get you. The very first time I went to visit Howard, went on a plane by myself, was to visit my dear friend Howard, who actually was the one who got me understanding about the reality of life. And funny thing, after we went to the restaurant, we were walking on the beach, Howard called. I had just been thinking about him for something. He flashed into my mind. Boom. Of course. That's the way it works. I'm telling you, the synchronicities that are happening, the thoughts I have, and then boom. Oh, did I tell you guys last week about the milk? I think I did. Because I get the milk. Absolutely, she said. Yeah, the news. The news is out to, makes you think that everyone's out to get you. See, it's not all peaches and cream. It's all when something happens. I'm telling you, the majority of people want to help you. The news sensationalizes the few that lose it. And I understand how they lose it. I understand how anybody loses it. Believe me, I understand. When you're believing the thoughts that are in your head, it's easy to lose it. Now, Alicia and I got to the realization. Oh, shoot. I got so many thoughts going on. The Maya is heavy right now. See what comes out. We were talking about, because she's working with ESE kids too. Which is, we didn't know that. Yeah. Well, we were both like, what? I just said it, and she typed it. Just after it came out of my mouth, she typed it. I started thinking about it, and I'm like, because I'm seeing these kids, like one of them was at the fence, because I've noticed that it's school is like a prison. The kids realize they have to go, but they don't love it. They don't love sitting in a seat being made to do stuff they don't care about. They just want to be playing. At least they still have recess. But this kid, I mean, they have to lock the gates behind the buses. They lock the gates when the kids are done being, because I have to take the ESE kids to the classrooms. I meet them out there. That's all done though. But so it feels like we're in a prison. We're stuck inside there all day. And then this kid, we were on the playground, and he was up to the fence. It's one of those, I don't know what kind of fence it's called. They're like diamond shaped, and it's all connected. He's on. It has his hands in there, and he's pushing it back and forth. I'm going, wow. This isn't. Anyway, he wanted out. So there were certain ones in this ESE class that I told you there were. There's like, I think there's 11 boys in there, and it is off the charts. And I realized why. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be sitting in a seat, and they won't. They won't. So society has labeled them autistic because they won't conform. They won't be conformed. They need to, every kid all of us need to have a school, a school that lets you do and be what you already are, and lets you, because some kids are good at, they love to figure things out. Some kids are good at drawing. So, I mean, we have some ESE kids that are amazing artists. There's this one little girl. Her drawing is, I mean, in seconds, and I'm like, what? I'm so impressed with her. And she brings her drawings over to me. She's so, her hair is down to her butt, and it's thick red. She's beautiful. She's such but boy, like, I was asking something, and she goes, it's none of your business. I wasn't talking to you. Which it's true. They are so smart. Actually, those telepathy tapes on YouTube that I sent you, Alicia, the ones that are nonverbal, when they give them that iPad thing that they to communicate with, they realize they are spelling, the words are college level and they've never been to college. They haven't lost that oneness. They haven't conformed to society, so their mind is still open. They're not separate. They haven't separated themselves from God or life or whatever the hell this we believe we're being indoctrinated into. I am reading, my friend Bruce just has a new book out. It's a very small book. It's only 90 pages, but wow, it is spot. It says the world we were born into without even knowing it. We don't even know it, but these autistic kids know it, and they're not going to be turned into something they're not. They will not. So we label them. When you label me, you negate me. And I was one of the negators, afraid of them. Ever since I was a kid, I was afraid of, we called them retarded kids. They had certain rooms or whatever. They still have certain rooms, but there's more kids in these rooms than there used to be when I was going to school. There's more and more. They just don't want to be in the box of society's ideas, which are so backwards. Yes, we need to be able to get along in society. Yes, but we don't have to lose who we are along the way. We just do, because we feel, God, he even talks about how we are indoctrinated into seeing a palm tree. We all see it. So when you start waking up and your identities start going, you start to be afraid because you're against the norm, because humans feel safe in the herd, in everybody thinking the same. That's what's kept me so, because I've been learning this stuff and it's been resonating with me so deeply that I was afraid to talk about it, because I was literally alone in this 30 years ago. Alone. Me and Howard. That was it. Nobody else understood. Now that the internet has come, more and more people are like, there has to be. It cannot be like this. It cannot. This cannot be all there is. Because everybody's suffering, believing their thoughts of somebody else being better than you. I have to be something in order to, I have to earn money in order to be worthy of this world. What? Money comes down to, I'll be happy if I have blah, 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 blah. What is your blah, blah, blah? What is your blah, blah? I'll be happy when. Answer that one for yourself. I'll be happy when I have a relationship. I'll be happy when I have a car or a house on the water. When we moved into this condo, I was miserable in my head living on this water because it wasn't the river water. Even though sun sets right there over this water every single night. And I'm in Florida where, when you're stuck in your head, there is no gratitude for what is. It's always looking, that little me is always looking for something better. Somebody else has something better, so I'm not good enough. The bottom line is, I can retire. Well, let me tell you, girlfriend, we weren't working together. You were miserable not working. You were miserable. We talked about that extensively. We were both miserable. And it's not about work either. But when you have that belief that you don't even know, that I'm not enough, and nothing is enough. There's things we want to do and we don't have enough money. Bullshit. Those people today, I hate those people. Yesterday, there's always more. Can you replace when you find yourself coming up to something that you really want? Look back on your life. Haven't you really gotten what you wanted? Haven't you? Anyway, when you come up to something that you really want and there's a limiting, oh my God, there's not going to be enough if I... Really? I had $30,000 taken. I didn't even realize I had $30,000, but I'm okay. Peter and I are doing well. We're doing. There's enough. And there's more to come. There's always more. Those two, God, I gotta write this in my journal. Those two, that's just going to stay with me. Every time something comes up. Like this morning, we want to go out to breakfast, and we spent a lot of money for yesterday. I'm grateful for having what I have, food, roof, except everything. Your kids, your eyes, your feet, your job right now, the money you have. It's only finite when we are finite. Money is part of that flow. When you're flowing, it's just there. It's just there. Work. When you, instead of saying, I have to go to work, I get to go to work, Alicia. I get anything your mind says I have to do, blah, blah, blah. I get to do it. Change it. I get to do it. Changes the whole perspective right there. I get to. Oh my gosh. What else? Yesterday. Thinking about Howard, and boom. When I looked at my phone, it was ringing in Peter's pocket. I like that you like that, Lisa. Yes, because we see those. We hear it as it comes out of our mouth. We're not that. As it comes out, you can see, oh, no, I get to. So, if you can see those thoughts and hear it coming out of your mouth, out of this mouth, who's the one noticing that? Who's the one that notices? Have you ever thought of that? Who's the one that notices anything? Self-awareness. I am convinced. It's another thing that came to me, because once you look at the videos on YouTube, the reels, you keep getting the same thing. Well, a lot of them are about narcissists. A narcissist is just someone that's not self-aware. That's it. They're literally not self-aware. They're just blaming life on them. They're making me hurt. Or this situation is making me hurt. It's not true. When you become aware, as you become aware, you realize, oh, that's not how it is. I'm just believing that. And as I point the finger at them, 3 more are pointing back at me. 3 more. That's powerful, if you really think about it. Because pointing at them is just 1 finger. 3 more are pointing back at you. If you are open and don't let that mind blame them, refuse to let it blame them, that's where your golden nuggets are. Refuse to blame them for how you're feeling. Oh, no. What am I seeing here? Oh, his book talks about seeing with new eyes. And he also talks about the necessary role of the ego. It's not an enemy. We don't want to hate it. It's a structure. It allows participation. It enables survival. It supports continuity, and without it, human life could not function. Oh, my gosh, I don't know why this thing fades. But this structure comes with a cost. As identity strengthens, presence recedes. Presence, so who you really are. What's the presence? I was with a friend a couple of years ago in May. I was visiting Maine, and we went to dinner together, her husband, Peter, Pam, and Mark. And when we were done, later on, she sent me a text saying something about how present I was with her. And I didn't even realize it. Because when I'm with someone, I look in their eye, I look with my left eye into their right eye. That keeps you present. When you make eye contact with someone and stay eye contact with them, you hear them. You're really there with them. Heading inside to do an organizing job. See you next year. Have a great day, everyone. See you next year, Christina. Next year. You have a great day, too. I already told you that in a text. As identity, okay, attention moves outward toward expectation and evaluation, because the mind is constantly evaluating where it needs to be. It's loops. It's just patterns of thought. Literally patterns of thought. It's not who you are. They were laid down as you were growing and you didn't even know it. Then you become it. You don't really become it, but you think you become it. Life becomes something to manage. He just mooned me on the window. Ooh, I wish I could. If I didn't have this set up here with this microphone and everything, I would have turned it. And this in my hand. Life becomes something to manage rather than inhabit. Like the birds. They're not managing. Or the flowers. The birds, they're not looking at the other one and saying, well, he has a better blah, blah. He has a better view on the lake. I think I should go near him. I think he's getting more fish than me. Oh, my gosh. The Gen Ed kids I'm with, too, they're so worried, concerned with what somebody else is doing. It's crazy. That mind is so concerned about what somebody else is doing. Stay in your lane. Let them. Mel Robbins' book, Let Them. I never read it, but just the words. Let them. Let them. That has nothing to do with you. Let them. The beginning of forgetting. This is the beginning of forgetting. Not forgetting truth, but forgetting immediacy, the now. Because the world is no longer encountered directly. It's filtered through whatever thoughts got laid down when you were a child. Whatever patterns of thought got laid down is how we see life. And this filtering, though necessary, sets the stage for everything that follows. This book, I can't tell you. The loss, okay, much of what you see is inherited. Family beliefs, cultural assumptions, religious frameworks. These are absorbed before they are questioned. Because when I was young, I was, indoctrinated into the Catholic religion. I was even had to go to CCD, but I resisted it. I didn't take it in. For some reason, church, my mind was somewhere else. I was not, it was the rituals of stand up, kneel down, sit down, all of that, and the peace be with you thing. The only thing I was worried about was because my hands were always sweaty when I was a kid. They were never dry like they are now. Because I was nervous all the time inside. I never made that connection till just now. So I would try to dry my hands because I knew when it was coming, because what led up to it was exactly what led up to it the week before, word for word. So I knew what. I'm trying to dry my hands. Like my wedding, right? In that church, stand up, sit. That's the church. St. John's Church is exactly where that, and behind it, the convent, was where I went to CCD. Indoctrinated into the Catholic religion. I was young and I was like this was taken. I was young and I was like this was taken forever. Alicia, what? What? I don't know what you're saying. So, perspective hardens when it is rewarded. Rewarded is we are all thinking the same thing, being indoctrinated into the same thing. So, breaking out of it is not easy. Approval reinforces belief. Approval. The wedding, I was young and I was like this was taken forever. Oh, yeah. Oh, you were like, this is taking forever. Right? Right? It took forever to go through. Yeah. Yeah. Just to say I do. But that's the way. It was held over my head. If you don't blah, 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 I won't pay for your wedding. Every girl was indoctrinated into having a big wedding. Never mind the life beyond it. It was all about what the wedding was going to be like. You were going to be the princess for a day. Whoa. I'm telling you, the stuff that it had to be just so. Over time, flexibility diminishes because belonging strengthens adherence. We need to belong. We have to be a certain way, and we want to be. We don't want to be outcast. What would they think about me is the number one fear of all me's. Identity. What do they think about me? The thing is, they're not thinking about you. They're thinking the same thing about themselves. You're just worried what they're going to think. If they're going to think what you're already thinking about yourself, which is, I'm not good enough. Something's wrong with me. Okay. The loss of fresh seeing. This is what I learned at Byron Katie. She was saying, can you see the person that you're having a hard time with fresh eyes? Not the past and what your mind has deemed they are. Fresh eyes. Fresh seeing fades when perception becomes automatic. When what we know, how many times have you said you want to do something with it? Well, they're going to say blah, blah, blah. You already know it, so of course that's what's going to happen. Change your perception. See what happens. Over time, flexibility diminishes. That means going with the flow. Flexibility. When spontaneity goes, because you can't, I can't because blah, it comes up with reasons why it can't do something spontaneously. I mean, if there's something actually happening and somebody asks you to do something and it's not possible, that's different. But spontaneity, going with the flow of life, is diminished because you've got to be this rigid. What was learned becomes defended. What you learn you are needs to be fought at all costs if it's threatened. When I say something to Peter and I've hit the truth of it, because he can be a narcissist, but he doesn't want to look at it. I can be too. Me is a narcissist. That's another thing Katie taught us. We are everything. She even taught us, every one of us has the ability to be Hitler. How did that hit inside? Did that trigger anything? Because the only crime, the worst crime that Hitler did was believe his thoughts that Jews were bad and need to be eradicated. He believed it. And the others started believing it too. And that whole thing happened. It's no different than you believing a thought that somebody else is doing life wrong. I mean, you're not going as far as killing them because they're not worthy in your eyes, but that's the same thing. Not to the same extreme, but it's possible if other people came on and said, yeah, Jews are bad, we need to eradicate them. Or so-and-so is bad, we need to eradicate him or her. They're not worthy to be living anymore because they're doing life wrong. Really? Or is it your perception that they're doing it wrong? Whew. This is big because I'm feeling it, because I see where I perceive Peter as doing it wrong, especially when he wants to watch a war, some kind of show that's about killing. It's so, and I see that, I'm seeing it right now, that he's doing it wrong. Is he? He's really not. He's really not. Whew. That's a big one, because it came up this weekend, trying to find a movie together. But the movie we did watch was really, because he was saying, I always watch your movies, and I said, yeah, and you enjoy them. Because, and they're not about killing. And what did we watch? We watched a really, really good movie Friday night. Isn't that crazy? So that's another thing. When you're more in the moment, when you're more living present, that's when you see the synchronicities. You're seeing, because the synchronicities were already here. You just didn't notice them because you were so into everything in your head, in the Maya. So you can't recall stuff unless it's really big. It's so hard to recall. It's not imprinted into your memory as much, because it's not. It's just now. There's no emotion. I've noticed that when things happen, that an emotion is attached to it, that's when you really remember it. If emotion is attached to it. But there wasn't a whole lot of I mean, there was emotion in that movie, but it wasn't. It was surface level, I guess. It wasn't deep. But it was a deep movie. I don't know. Fresh seeing fades when perception becomes automatic. Automatic, because our minds, you see something and boom, there's a thought process immediately. Like something that happened with Howard yesterday. There was a thought process. Something triggered the thought of Howard. And I don't even remember what it was. It's in there. But, and when he called, I picked up that phone and it said Howard Cohen. I'm like, what? I cannot tell you how often that happens. So often. Moments blur together. Moments blur together. Reaction replaces curiosity. Reaction replaces curiosity. Curiosity. Because it's automatic. It's a program in your head. Life becomes manageable, but less alive. It's not as alive. It's not immediate. It's not in the moment. Clarity begins when the filter becomes visible. You notice interpretation as it arises. You notice. You see a certain tree, and then there's an interpretation of what exactly that tree is. That's labeling. When you label me, you negate me. When you label me, you negate me. You're not even present with, like the autistic kids. I labeled them autistic, and I negated them. Didn't see them as a person. Didn't see them as a human. They have a story, just like Lori has a story, just like Alicia, Margie, Christina. I have not seen Cynthia today. Anyway, you see belief operating in real time. This noticing weakens the grip. The grip that the mind has, the belief in that mind being you. Seeing clearly does not require new beliefs. It requires suspension. You pause before assigning meaning. This pause creates space between, there's no automatic. It's not automatic anymore to go to thought. There's a space there. A being space. Direct contact returns in brief moments. So that's what the synchronicity does. It's reminding me that direct contact. Direct. It's instant. It's reality in instant. A direct contact returns in brief moment. A sound, a sensation, a movement of breath. How many times do you focus on your breath? You're not doing it. Life's doing it, but you can focus on it. Takes you away from this. When you focus on your breathing, you're not in your thoughts. You cannot focus on breathing and still have thoughts at the same time. My granddaughter said, yes, I can, I do. It's not true. You can go right back. As you take the breath and focus on it, you can stay there and go right back, but you don't have to. You don't have to. Okay, in these moments, life is not explained, it is met. There's no explanation, there's no, well, because, blah, blah, blah. It's just met in the moment. Being present with someone or something. Learning does not need to stop. Knowledge can remain, but seeing must come first. When seeing leads, learning serves. When seeing leads, learning serves. That's what I felt like yesterday. And the world becomes visible again without the filters of your patterns of thought. My God, I can't believe it's almost 10. The structures that shape us. Anyway, this book, I'm absolutely loving it. And I have this whole week off. I'm going to sit and immerse myself in this book. Yeah, and it started yesterday. I had this, Friday. I had Friday off. It was awesome. It used to be that being here for the day would I would be miserable in my thoughts instead of enjoying what is around me, because I was so stuck in the thoughts of I'm not enough. Basically, that's the bottom line, and all the reasons why I don't have blah blah blah. I don't have a job, so I'm not worthy. What? I'll bet every human being. Well, think about the kids. When you're a little kid, I used to take my kids with me sometimes to do hair when they were on vacation. I didn't. I'd rather have them with me, just to do, not to do a perm or anything, but somebody's haircut. I'd take them with me. Plus, my customers love the kids. So, what do you want to be when you grow up? when Travis was 5. What? So he felt pressure of having to come up with, what? You don't ask a kid. I mean, of course, that's what was said. So obviously it was meant to. But the pressure we put on kids, having to be a career when you're 5. Even when even when you're a teenager, like Hannah, she thinks she wants to be a teacher. That's not what she's going to love. So we had this conversation this week, and I said, you're going to do something you don't love? Well, I can't do something I love, make money at it. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is the way we are all. We have to pick something, or we just don't, because she wants to go to college, but she hates doing paperwork. I don't know. But it's her journey to go through, just like we all did, believing that we have to earn. I posted something from Hope that, oh, that's beautiful too. Gosh, do I have time to read that? And she's talking about, actually, I'm going to go to her. She put it in a bunch of places. She says, what if nothing had to be earned? Can you imagine a world where nothing is earned? Can you imagine a world not because people are lazy, because that's another thing. If you're not working when you're of age, 16, you're lazy. That's another. You label me, you negate me. Nobody is lazy. Everybody's doing what they're meant to be doing in any given moment. And if that's playing video games, so be it. It's the word, it's the label lazy. They take it on as a kid, and so they live up to it. Just like me, my mom labeling me naive, so I lived up to it. I believed it about myself. Because the entire structure of earning simply dissolves. Can you imagine? Not because no one contributes, but because the entire structure of earning simply dissolves. A world where what you create is offered because sharing is the essence of creation. Where food grows and people bring it to the table. Where someone builds something beautiful simply because they love building. Where another person teaches because the joy of seeing someone understand is enough. This is what I love to do. This, as I learn, I love to share it because it's eased Lori's suffering. So that's the only thing I'm seemingly sharing is what has helped me. And I know it's made me come alive in life. No invoices, no measuring of worth, no quiet pressure to prove that you deserve to exist. Just giving and receiving, moving in a natural rhythm. Like those people yesterday, giving me that money, and me Venmoing them, and then me giving it to the helicopter guys, and it's just the rhythm. He loves flying, and he loves sharing that joy. Most people hear an idea like this and immediately say it wouldn't work. Of course, from our conditioned mind. Of course, they imagine chaos. They imagine people taking and never giving. But that reaction says more about the world we've learned to live in than the one that was actually created for us to extend our creations endlessly. That's powerful. I don't know if you guys are following this, but it is. Hey, Jimmy, sharing is caring with great love to be buried. I love you, Alicia, too. Thank you, Nemo, for being here. If you look closely, pieces of this already exist. A mother caring for her child doesn't calculate hours. A friend helping another friend move doesn't send a bill. Someone who writes or composes something that moves them often shares it simply because it wants to be shared. This is exactly what this likes to do. Wants to share because it likes to share. It's part of the the impulse to give freely is already inside of us. Just like I said with that helicopter guy, sharing the joy of being able to have somebody be in a helicopter that normally wouldn't be, seeing that view. Sharing the joy. What? There's nothing that feels better. The impulse to give freely is already inside us. It already is. We just built a system around it that says everything must be justified. I'll do this for you if you do this for me. Ew. And if you don't, that is in your body. And maybe the deeper question isn't whether society could function without earning. Maybe the real question is this: what would happen to the human heart if we stopped believing our worth had to be proven? Ooh, God, this is so good. What would people create if survival were not the motivation? Survival meaning having to have money. What would generosity look like if it weren't forced, coerced, or expected? What would love look like if nothing had to be traded for it? I don't know when the world we perceive now will ever organize itself this way, but I do know this. The moment we stop trying to earn our right to be here, something inside us relaxes. Like a bird is not uptight inside because it doesn't feel worthy. Peter and I have my, because now that we're behind the doors, we're having another cold snap this week, but we've had to close up because it's been hot. So I put my microphone, my baby monitor back outside, and every night, crows, it's about 7:15, crows come in our tree across from us by the dozens. And it's amplified in there. We got to shut it off. Crows sound to Lori is not a pleasant sound compared to all the other birds. There's a judgment right there. Right there. But I don't want to hear them when I'm trying to watch a movie or something. Okay. So I don't have to. I mean, we can still hear them through the doors, but not like it's amplified in the living room. The moment we stop trying to earn our right to be here, something inside relaxes. Just getting up in the morning when those thoughts, that's what I realized after the scam, when I was so into, I could see the thoughts clearly. As soon as I woke up, the immediate story of Lori came on board, and there's immediate tightness in my gut, in this belly, trying to show me that what I was thinking and believing isn't true. It was trying to get my attention. But because sharing, not because, okay, and from that place, giving becomes natural again. Not because we have to, but because sharing what we are is the most natural thing in the world. So many powerful things I read this week that just fit. Just noticing this stuff in your life, noticing it, instead of letting it go by, just noticing, oh, as you notice, the unraveling happens and you don't have to do a thing. Just notice. That's what Katie always used to say. Are you noticing? Are you noticing? It's beautiful to notice. Anyway, 10 o'clock. That hour went so fast. Different than sitting in church. Okay, it went fast for me. I don't know if it was for you guys, but for me, for a Lori character, it went fast. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Every one of you. And if you got something out of us, share it with somebody. Share it with somebody who's suffering. Share my YouTube channel with them. I'm going to post it on YouTube as soon as we're done here. But I got to figure out what to label it. Oh! All right. I love you. Have a great week.